with Carmela T. Let me turn this around. There we go. So, hey, welcome to Vermont, sun and shade, actually. I wanted to share with you. I know I'm still on the information about Finches up. Probably, this will probably be just a part of this channel because going forward, because I find out little things and about the Finches, and I really, really want to share them with you. I found a phenomenal site, and I'm going to share with you. It's called omelet.us. Okay, it's omelet, OMLET, just like the egg. So I was just looking up Finch food, but on this site, I also found a beautiful, some pages showing beautiful pictures of the different types of finches. So I want to share that with you and a couple other things here. So I was looking up finch food because the AI that was coming up wasn't giving me a whole lot. And so let's see here. Well, this is, I'm just going to read a little bit here and get to the list because it was the fresh food that I was really interested in. Oh, and if you want to say good morning to the finches. So this little Mashuki and little Umi is in the corner eating some millet. So yeah, say hi. They're getting really comfy and they're so funny and so cute. So finch food, as you probably already know, seed is the base food, right, for all finches. So both dried and sprouted seeds will go down well. At least 50% of your finch's diet should be made up of seeds. So that's the first thing you want to make sure they're getting their seeds. And I will tell you, before you get a finch, I'm just going to tell you this, my experience and what I have learned, and then we'll go back to that. Before you get a finch, make sure that the stores in your area actually carry finch food. And I'm not kidding you right now. A few of the stores I know carry wild bird seed. Do not carry any domestic seeds. They don't. Hi everyone, thanks for being with me this morning. They also do not carry bird cages and little equipment and toys and things like that. They don't. And I asked, and I'm telling you, big stores like Walmart, and they have one type of cage in there, and they have one type of finch food, but that's it, and not many. So you want to, oh, thank you so much. So you definitely want to check out locally. And I asked the manager there why there was so little, was I coming on a day where they just didn't, have a lot? And she said, no, they purposely cut back. They're just not selling a lot. People are not buying the domestic birds like they used to. When people had homes, this is my opinion, when people had homes, they had homes, that was their, I mean, this is basic to have a home. We have many, many, many people, and you cannot profile them. It could be you or it could be me. We have many people in the United States, in Vermont, who are homeless. When you're homeless, no, you're not going to get a pet, you're not going to get birds, you're not going to get this and that. I was very hesitant getting my little birds because I do know that I am scouting for like a long-term place, right? But I figure this is a good place to have birds. Hi, Sabo. Hi, thanks for being here this morning. So, so a couple things I wanted to share with you about these society finches that I found out on this site. And it is very interesting. The paragraph, the information's not too long, but it's a way more information than I was getting on AI. So with that, I just want to also share with you. I had put cooked spinach in. It was like last week. I cooked it and cut it up like they said. So the little Umi, the little one, the female, she had or she's their names are interchangeable. Okay, they really are. Mishuki and Umi. But my little female there, she had taken the spinach and kind of flipped it, flipped it out of the dish. And I wasn't sure if they liked it, so I tried it again and I cut it up. And this time I just took a little tiny bit of it and I put it in the dish. Okay, so guess what? They ate it. Both of them. They love spinach. Now it says not to give them lots of spinach. So with your leafy foods, you really want to watch that. Make sure it's either cooked or you're not giving or it's on the list. So let's go through the information, some of the information that I found. Okay, so anyway, the Finch food. All this being said, seed alone, it's not the complete diet. So they give us other fresh fruits is what I was looking at, and vegetables and sprouting seeds. So they're going to give us detail here in a minute. Feeding finches. So following paragraphs may make feeding finches sound complicated, but it really isn't. In fact, the basics are really simple. Finches get around 50% of their diet from seed, and then and this includes a mix of sprouting. I'm gonna show you this in a second. Hold on, sprouting and dry seeds. Now, let me just put this up here for a moment because I want to grab the bag I got and just show you something here. So this is the look, $2.99. This is a bag of sprouting seeds. So you have to soak them and you go through a whole process, and it explains it on the back. So I opened it up, but I have not yet done this process. So that's the sprouts that they're referencing. So I can only find those in one store. So like I said, scout around at your neighborhood stores before you get your finches. This is pretty much all that you need to remember. Okay, and it just goes on like that. So I want to get to the list of the, this is going in detail. We're going to go into this detail later. Let me just get back to my menu. And I just want to go back here. Okay. Here we are. This is what I wanted to share. Fruits and vegetables. Okay. They should be provided on a daily basis. Now, mind you, there's not much at all that they eat. They're very tiny. But it makes up 50% of their diet. So any leftover veggie, you just need to remove it and throw it away. You know, I throw it away each morning because it's been sitting there. Whatever they're not going to eat at that point, they're not going to eat it. But they're eating just about everything I put in. Finches aren't really fussy. This is for sure. And they should enjoy any vegetable you feed them. They like bright colors, so a mix of the colorful fruit and veggies will go down nice with them. You'll need to make sure that the food you're giving them is good and won't upset their stomachs. Always wash the food before you serve it to them. So they're just saying they're really sensitive to chemicals. You know, along with that, guys, they are also sensitive to aerosol sprays and stuff like that. Sorry, I'm drinking my coffee, having a morning coffee with you. is the best way to start my morning. So check this out. Look at this, a list. And for those of you who are not looking at the internet, I'm reading these aloud for you. So suitable fruit and vegetables for your finches. So it says apples, and so it's avoid the pips of, and we all know that they contain a little bit of cyanide, and and they say people don't eat those. Anyway, banana. So that's awesome because I love bananas, and I'll be getting some of those. Beetroot. Yeah, I almost wonder if you might want to cook some of these just to make it easier for them to eat too. Bell peppers, all colors. Check that out. Blueberries. So my experience with blueberries, believe it or not, I put a couple of blueberries in there and they were afraid of the blueberry. I think the little ruffle part of the blueberry or something about that blueberry looked to them like a big bug or something. They were afraid. So I took them right out because I hadn't seen that response with any other food. So maybe, oh, now I'm thinking maybe cut up the blueberry. Even though the blueberry is tiny, maybe cut it up. That might be an idea. A broccoli. Sprouting are the best. Okay, I put broccoli in there yesterday, and they loved it. The little female just went to town on that. She just loved it. So I think they think it's like a little tree. Butternut squash or any other squash. So I'm going to try that next. Now it doesn't say cook these, but my gut instinct is saying if you cook them right, they're nice and easy for them to eat. Carrots. So I did cook a couple of carrots a couple of times. They did not really take to the carrot. So far. So let me go over here. Celery, the leafy ends. So yeah, you could see that. Look, you could put a nice little stalk in a nice little leafy end there. The sticks themselves are too watery and will fill the bird without adding much nutrition. Yeah, they do draw caution to that also because on other things like bread, I looked up if I can give them little pieces of bread like we throw out there for the wild birds, because I had read in the winter the wild birds love bread. It does fill them up and it gives them heat quickly, but that's the information I got. But the information I got for finches are do not give them bread because it fills them up. But they're in a cage, they're domestic. And so they will, could be, if you give them bread, right, on an ongoing basis, they could actually start lacking in vitamins. So you don't want to give your finches a bread. That's the information I got. If you got any other info, let me know. So corn on the cob, how fun is that? Corn on the cob. Again, I say cook it. They're not saying cook it here. But zucchini, fennel bulb, especially the feathery, look at they call it feathery green parts. The feathery green parts, okay. Leafy, I think they mean leafy, but anyway, greens. Try dandelion. So be careful where you're getting the dandelion. And because I would say if it's, out in a field or somebody's raising, I mean, I don't know, there could be pesticide. So yeah, you always want to wash it and be careful. Chickweed, nasturtium, if I'm saying that correctly. Spinach, again, they love spinach. And it does say not to give them lots and lots of it. So the little bit I gave them this morning, they both went to town on it. Parsley, spring greens, mustard cress, and this says it right here, but only in small quantities. So anything of your greens, double check if you're not sure on information. And an excess of greens can hinder calcium absorption. Okay, So, it can mess around with their system. So just a little bit of the greens. Mango, and that's fun because I love mango, so I'm going to get some of that for them too. Melons. A lot of these foods are really good for people, right? Papaya, peach and nectarine. I'm surprised at this one, I'm going to be honest. Peach and nectarine. But I would say peel it, you know what I mean? Same with any of them, right? Pear, not the pips, of course. Peas, fresh from the pod. Oh, okay. So I guess be careful with peas in a can because of the sodium and stuff like that. Pumpkin, so this is a great time of year, or any other squash. Okay. Pumpkin. It looks like almost anything from every single season is here. Raspberries, strawberries, sweet potato, and tomato. Now it says with the tomato, make sure that it's ripe and never green. And you got to figure, people with tomatoes, some people can't eat tomatoes because of the acid and whatnot. So yeah, I would say a little bit. I'm not too crazy about a tomato in there, but okay. Unsuitable for finches. So there's quite a long list. So again, I'm going to read this out loud. Okay. And some of these are common sense, but here we go. Acorns are not suitable. Alcohol of any kind, not suitable. Eggplant, avocado, beans, and broad beans, not suitable. Caffeine, chocolate, of course, not suitable. Citrus foods, here we go. Now see, this is what it says, look. These are fine in very small amounts, but too much can cause digestive issue and loose droppings. Of course, that makes sense. So yeah, you want to be careful with citrus fruits. Elderberries, fruit stones, pits and pips. Yeah, leave those out. And a lot of these are common sense. Garlic is a big no-no. And I was surprised at this one, to be honest. Lettuce, but it is not toxic, but it is very low nutritionally. So there's no point in having your birds filling up on it. In other words, they get all that water and then they're not eating their foods. No mushrooms, guys, of any kind. Okay, and I know some people love mushrooms. They're an earthly type of food, and you think, well, those are fine. Those are not fine. And actually, some mushrooms, as you know, already know, some are toxic for people. So no mushrooms, just take them off the list. Nettles, no onions, peanuts, or potatoes. Potatoes, I'm going to tell you something. I'm surprised it's on the list, but it is on the list. And I say I'm surprised because squash is okay, but it's saying no potatoes. So no rhubarb, no sweet peas. So peas are okay, but not sweet peas. And of course, no tobacco. So let's see here. Okay, so the only other thing with this site, which is absolutely magnificent, I love this site, is I want to show you, if it's on this page, let me go, I have to go back again here to get to the menu. Whoops. Let me go back. I want to show you the pet finches. It says other pet finches. Okay. Check this out, guys. Wait till you see this. Now, I'm not going to read every single one of these, just maybe a little bit, but check this out. Okay, the Java sparrow. Look, it's called Java sparrow. It's not called a finch. We call it a finch. Look, the Java finch, as the name suggests, it's native to the island of Java, Indonesia. They can be found on other Indonesian islands, and the bird's Latin tag is Orizivora, which means rice eater. They have been made a bad name for themselves by feeding on rice fields. together with larger flocks. So you figure people who, right, the rice farmers, they would not like that. This feat has also earned them the alternative name of Java rice sparrow. I think that is so interesting. I honestly do. The Java rice finch. Numbers in the wild have been massively reduced. Irate rice farmers are somewhat to blame here, and the species is officially endangered. Check this out, people. It's officially endangered in the natural habitat. Like I said, people are not getting, they're not even getting domestic finches anymore for their homes because people are struggling with their own homes. So outside of Indonesia, introduced populations have managed to thrive in Hawaii. There are also millions of birds in captivity. This bird has never managed to shake its rice-eating reputation, and still to this day, it is illegal to own a Java finch. Check this out, in California. So it's illegal to have a Java finch in California in the United States. Just in case feral populations descend on a local rice field. It is also illegal to import specimens into the United States. Well, that's interesting. The Java sparrow is a true giant of the finch scene. Their large beak only adds to the general look of bulkiness. They measure about 5.5 to 6.5 inches. And as of late, these species has become more and more of a popular cage bird. Okay, so that's as of late. And they favor larger seeds such as oats and white millet, and of course, sprouting rice. So, okay, the next finch, this is, look how beautiful. Look how beautiful this finch is. This is the Gouldian finch. And look, just look at the colors, all natural, beautiful colors. Just natural and beautiful. The first thing you notice, of course, of this species, also called the Erythrurua goldii, is its bright multicolored plumage. This has earned its nickname Rainbow Finch. So I bet you some people don't know that. This is the Rainbow Finch. That's the nickname. They get their name from the British ornithologist John Gould. That's why they're called the Gouldian finches, who was the first to describe the bird in the Western Science back in 1844. The name he chose for it was Lady Gouldian Finch. How adorable. After his wife, Elizabeth. So the bird is actually, check this out, it's actually endangered in its native habitat in northern Australia, but there are several 100,000 living and breeding in captivity. Okay, so out in the wild, they're endangered. So if something happens in the captive world, we're in trouble. The bulk exportations of this bird during the late 19th and 20th centuries did nothing but slowly deplete the wild numbers of this finch. So in 1960, Australian authorities banned the exportation of all native animals, including the Gouldian finch. So they're about 5.5 inches long. So if you do see these finches for sale, it's because they already have accessed the finch through a breeding business here in the United States. They are not being exported. Okay, so now let's see. The next finch, check this out, is called the double-barred finch. Okay, so look how beautiful. The stripes are, it's beige, black, and white. So this is a popular species, and it goes by several other names. The owl finch. Oh my God, I just love that. or why I don't know, the clown finch and the Pacino's finch. So look, it has three other names. The latter of the three is a nod towards mid-19th century bird enthusiast, colonial secretary of Van Diemen's Land in Tasmania, James Ebenezer Pacino. The bird's Latin name is Ty Neopigia beachy novelli, reflects its name too. The bird is smaller, it's about 4 inches. So it's also a species of Australia. So the next one is the little birds that I have. You're going to find this really interesting about these birds. Check this out. I get more amazed about these little Bengalese finches that I have more than ever, because look, this is a rather odd species, as it doesn't even actually exist in the wild. The bird measures in about 4 inches long. Now I'm going to tell you the male bird that I have here is definitely longer than 4 inches. It's easily 6, and I'm going to measure it when it gets a little more used to me. Whilst for a long time it has been believed that the species is descended from the white-rumped munia, Luncura striata, this has only recently been proved with modern DNA analysis. So recently, they figured out that it is from the white-rumped munia. Bengalese finches are therefore known as Luncura striata domestica and usually go by the name society finch. In North America, I know I had never heard of these finches before I ran across them last week. Seeing this bird was bred specifically for captivity, it comes to no surprise that there are indeed well adapted to cage life. The only thing that keeps them from being the go-to bird, get this people, is that it's a rather dull brown based plumage. I think they're beautiful. Honest to God, they're just gorgeous. Society finches are sociable animals, roosting and even nesting. In fact, their very traits have earned them the society tag because the bird mixes very well with other species and makes a great addition to aviary life. So now look at this one. I never heard of this finch. This is called the star finch. It's very small, about 4 to 4.7 inches, and it's a native in Australia. And this species is on the rise of popularity in the past 50 years. Yeah, what you saying, little Mashiki and little Lumi? And so let's see. There are cinnamon and fawn variations. So the one of the birds I have here is also that color. So I don't know. And I noticed a little red in the face. I don't know if it's actually a star finch. We'll see what happens because they're babies. So the next finch, look, here's another type of finch. It's called the plum-headed finch. And this is a close relative to the star finch. And again, it's a native of Australia. Check this one out. Check this out, guys. Look at this finch. I want to get one of these. And of course, who wouldn't? Yeah, but I keep my babies over here. This is a strawberry finch. The strawberry finch is commonly known as the red abata or red munia, munia, I think. It's a very striking little finch that inhabits the grasslands of tropical northern Asia. Just check that out. I mean, they're just gorgeous. Look at that. Now check this one out. This is why I love this site. This site, again, that I'm on is called omelet.us, OMLET. Check this out. Diamond firetail finch. Look, I never knew there were so many type of finches, guys. I'm going to have to do some paintings of these finches because I'm just so impressed. The diamond firetail in gutata is yet another Australian finch. So many of these finches are coming from Australia. I'm not reading every single thing because I figure you could go to the site. If you want me to read anything specific, let me know. But they have striking plumage and flashes of red and splotches covering the breast and flanks. Oh my God, they're gorgeous. So look at this. Do you believe this? Have you ever heard of a parrot finch? It's the color of a parakeet. I'm just beside myself right now. Seriously, can't believe it. And being an artist, these colors, yeah, they do get to you. The red-headed or short-tailed parrot finch is called, well, the Latin name is Erythrura cyanovirens, and the red-throated parrot finch and the blue-faced parrot finch are all kept by aviculturists. I bet they are. 4 to 5 inches in length. They are native to Samoan Islands and eastern coast of Australia. Now, mind you, you may not see these finches in the United States, and they may have rules against, mailing them out, seriously. Check this out. Cutthroat finch. Ooh, what a name. I mean, why couldn't they just call it red throat finch? I'm just saying. The cutthroat finch also go by names of the bearded finch. Okay, that makes more sense. Or the ribbon finch, or cutthroat mannequin, flame-throated Mondina, and flame-throated finch. Well, these are all other names. Everything but the red-throated, right? So they're native to Africa, and though they're thriving and introduced in Portugal, and they tend to be aggressive than their average finch, and they have a reputation of wrecking other birds' nests. So they're aggressive, and yeah, so they're probably not good with other birds. So that's the it's a very interesting, beautiful bird. Look at all these finches, guys. The lavender waxbill. Looks like a chickadee to me. And you know what? My little finches, they pick up non-grammatical songs, and one of them was saying chickadee dee dee. Yeah, can you say that? Chickadee dee dee. He was copying the chickadee outside the other day. So lavender waxbill, it's lavender, look, it's purple and red, is relatively small, 4 inches in size, and they tend to get stressed and aggressive in enclosed spaces. So in the wild, they inhabit tropical and subtropical African countries, and there is a well-established introduced population living in Hawaii, and they are prized cage bird and come with a very high price tag. They are close relatives to several other waxbill species. So they can be found at the pet market, but look, if they are highly stressed and aggressive in closed spaces, I'm assuming they do best in an aviary that is outside. It is a huge cage. Yeah. So you probably don't want a bird like that or to seek out a bird like that in your home. Well, I don't know how many more there are, but check this out. This is a chestnut munia. I don't know if I'm saying that correctly. It looks like munia finch. and it goes by the name Black-Headed Mannequin Munia Nun. Is that too darn cute? Yeah, what you saying? Hi. You trying to get in the sun? The sun's coming out a little bit. I'm just moving their cage for a minute. It is also really important, guys. I just want to point this out to you. I read this in research. Your society finches or your zebra finches, whatever you have, they need to get sunlight every day. And if it's pouring rain out, make sure you have them in a room that has lightly, it's light out. It's the light is on. But I just move them towards the sun a little bit. Okay, so this is the black-headed mannequin. This is an estrildid finch that has a wide range spreading through China, Northeast India. Check this out. India, Indonesia, and Malaysia, Thailand, Vietnam, Taiwan, Singapore, and the Philippines. This is an Asian finch. It is gorgeous. So let's see what this is. Scaly-breasted munia. So these birds are called the spice finch. You see there's all little specks on them there. And they're spotted munia or nutmeg finch. That's adorable. So again, they're 4.5 inches long. And okay, so that's it. But look at all of those finches. So here, you want to say hi to everyone, guys? You want to say hi to the people who love finches? Hi. Hi, little Mushiki and little Mushiki. I just put my finger up like that and let them come to me if they want to. Hi, honey. He'll come over after I take my hand down. And, oh, did I... they turn their backs to me. Okay. They're saying, no, I don't want to be on the camera right now. So anyway, I hope that you really enjoyed all that information about the finches and what they can eat. Let me know what kind of finch you have. I'm so interested. As you know, I'm an artist, so guess what? I am going to be making, I guess the best way to do it is make an original, like, pen and ink of the finch. I may do pen and ink, I may do watercolor, I may do acrylic. I'm going to experiment. The only reason I don't work with oil paint is I am, believe it or not, allergic to it. Crazy. But, and very sad, because I love oil paint. So I will be sharing with you. I'll share with you when I do that artwork, and it will be over on Echo Art with Carmela T. But I just wanted to share with you this morning all this wonderful information. Again, credit to omelet.us. And with that, you have a beautiful, lovely day, and love and light.